Hi, everybody.
Hey. So, this is going to be THOMCAST number 8. I'm Tom Hotka, president and dictator for life of 515comics.com. And I have my very first fabulous guest, Trey Peterson.
Professor Trey.
Professor Trey.
As the ladies know me.
Yeah. My God.
Look at that skanky, but beautiful person.
Yeah. So it's way past my bedtime. Trey and I are kind of having a sleepover of sorts because I don't have to work tomorrow. Woo!
I guess you can call it a sleepover.
I mean, I'm gonna sleep here. You're gonna go home.
Yeah.
You go over somewhere else to sleep.
Home and Altoona.
Yeah, sleepover. Yeah. There we go. Don't tell people where you live. They'll find you.
Altoona, Iowa.
Oh my God.
You can bleep that out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just not going to.
Oh.
Today we're going to talk about some of the things that inspire us when we are creating. The things that drive us to do the things that we do. Not the horrible things that we do to chickens, but...
And baby seals.
I guess, obviously, we both consume a lot of media because we're Americans. And so I think that honestly, it's fair to say that I'm inspired by a lot of what I see. I mean, I can take things, elements, or even just like looking at other people's like art. Like looking at how other people draw things. I can take little bits and pieces from that, and that can, in a way, be inspiration, whether it be like how I want to draw something, or if I want to change the way I draw things, or if it just makes me want to draw more things.
Mm-hmm.
So so there's that, and then of course, the same goes for writing. Every time I read or watch something that I really enjoy, that can really kind of get the creative juices working and really make me want to sit down and write and do some work in that regard. So it's hard to really tack down like what are some things that really inspire me, really drive it home for me. So because it's hard for me, I'm gonna make you say some stuff first.
All right. I do a lot of reading, comic books, and normal books.
Yeah, real books.
Real books without any pictures. You'd be surprised how many people don't do that anymore. From Frank Miller, a lot of his work, really cool, really solid, different from the normal comic book genre. Mike Mignola. I also really like Joe Kubert.
I know that name. What is he?
I do know the one that I know him for the most is the old Sergeant Rock comics.
Oh, okay.
I know he's done a lot of other stuff.
Okay, all right. He's old school. All right.
Yeah, he's very old school, but I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
Hey, Joe.
Joe. Keep it up.
Hey, if you want to be a fabulous guest on the THOMCAST, just let these guys know, okay? All right, we'll make it happen.
I don't know how you're going to let us know, but you should let us know.
And if you are dead...
Rest in peace, buddy.
I mean, we got a Ouija board.
Dude, we should do that for a THOMCAST.
No.
Contact dead awesome people like
well,
Elvis.
That might be,
JFK.
That could be kind of a good idea.
Yeah, it could be. The Justice League one, Ross something.
No, Alex Ross.
Alex Ross.
Yeah.
He's an amazing artist. Fantastic artist.
That guy.
Comic series that I'm a big fan of, Ultimate X-Men, even though the series is over. They killed like everybody off.
Yeah. Isn't that what Ultimatum was? Ultimatum was the end
I think
of...
so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody dies.
Kind of lame, but I liked the redesigns of all the characters. I liked the way they retold the classic stories with the huge twist.
Yeah.
I have lately, the past couple of years, been on a kick of historical fiction, namely by an author named Bernard Cornwell. Check him out. He's amazing. Check him out. Jim Butcher and his Harry Dresden series. Fantastic books. I love Harry Dresden. He's a snarky douche, which, you know. On the movie side of things, I like things that are original. So a lot of the stuff that they do anymore is kind of really Hollywood. Really. A lot of old science fiction movies, RoboCop, Terminator, Predator, the Alien movies. Love the Alien movies. Love them. Absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Find them great. All the old Star Treks, the original Star Wars, not the new ones, the old ones. Oh, video games.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you do a lot of gaming.
I do a lot of gaming, a lot more than I really should. I waste so much time playing video games, but a lot of them have really good stories. Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, the Mass Effect games. Mm-hmm. Despite what a lot of people say, the Halo games, they had a lot of really good stories. The 3 Modern Warfare games had a pretty nice storyline, I thought. Different from everything else.
Yeah.
The Dragon Age games. Kingdoms of Amalur wasn't too bad, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
It had a lot of cool elements in it that I really, really liked.
But the story was kind of meh.
The story had a lot of cool elements too. And even though it took me forever to play through it, at the same time I was just like, this could have been expanded so much more than it was. I don't think it probably ever could have gotten to the level that, say, World of Warcraft is, but kind of the same idea where they can just keep releasing stuff.
Sure.
I wish they'd kind of done that, but okay, whatever. And you. Tell us about your shit.
Gosh.
Please.
This guy.
This guy's a coconut.
Yeah. So, I guess, so some of the things that have always inspired me would be, like, I mean, you know, going back to my early days when I pretty much just read the newspaper comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think, like, my favorite comic was Calvin and Hobbes. Represent. Everything that I've read about Bill Watterson, it just seems like he was a really dedicated guy. Like, it seems like he was really into what he wanted to do, and it was just kind of like, damn whatever anybody else says. Mm-hmm. And I really like that kind of stubborn determination, and it's something that I strive
he didn't
for.
really conform to what the newspapers at the time wanted in their comics.
Yeah.
You know, cheap gags, you know.
Yeah.
5-panel strips with a punchline at the end.
Yeah, stuffing a lot of philosophy into a comic about a kid and his imaginary friend. You know, I don't think that was something that was done a whole lot before he did it. So
at all ever.
Yeah, maybe at all ever. As far as like comics go, I still don't know a whole lot of actual comic artists that well or by their styles yet. You know, like that would work for an actual comic company. So, you know, if I had to pick a guy that drew comics that I would look up to, it would probably be Bill Watterson for now, since I don't. It might be Bill Watterson forever, even as I grow to learn more and more about other comic people. But as far as like a storyline in a comic goes, I remember that the first time I read a comic and I was really like gripped by it was we would get when we were kids, my sisters and I got the Disney magazine, the monthly magazine. It was like Disney Adventures or something, a little digest magazine. And in it, for a whole summer, they printed like the first book of Bone in little like 5 or 6 page goes. And I remember just being like enthralled, like, what is this? This is so cool. And then later on, you know, it wasn't even until like maybe like a year or two ago that I actually borrowed the full complete story from somebody and actually read through the whole thing. Like, I read the first book in those Disney magazines, and then I never read it again. until like 2 years ago, and I loved it. Like that to me, like that's the perfect kind of thing, and like it was really immersed in its own universe. Like they had their own little quirks and their own creatures, and just everything was just really well laid out, well planned out, and it was just a great story because it was not that long. I guess not necessarily that it wasn't that long, but that it had a definite ending to it, you know? It's like, yeah, we know that more is going to happen with the bones, and that's really cool, but it wrapped everything up in such a way that it's like, this, from beginning to middle to end, is a really great story. And I just think that it's a really good example of, like, what I would like to do with a story, is actually have it be a solid story. When it comes to an end, it's like, yes, that was a satisfying read. Like, I really appreciate that. You know, and I think that a lot of the shows that I think inspire me and that I really like kind of have that same thing too. I mean, you know, one of my favorite shows, and one show that has definitely influenced next to a lot, is Cowboy Bebop.
Oh.
And that's just, again, it's really good. It's very self-encompassed. There's a lot of uniqueness within its own, you know, everything sort of is wrapped together very nicely. And it's not a very long story, but it's a very good story. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and actually, it's not even... A lot of the episodes don't really deal with the story, even. So
not the main story.
The main story of Cowboy Bebop is probably like 8 episodes long. Like,
I was
if
maybe
that,
like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
The Ballad of Fallen Angels.
Yeah, jeez.
I think maybe that's like the start of it, because that's where you meet.
Vicious.
Vicious.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, if you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, you should probably watch that.
Definitely, like 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
And have a box of tissues with you when you go to watch the last, like, 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, it sucks.
Heartbreaking.
It's pretty rough.
Good, but heartbreaking.
It's pretty rough. But yeah, and that's another thing that I really like and I really look for in shows and in stories is that there's, you know, it elicits emotion. And that's something that I would really like to try and emulate more, is that kind of thing where you get so attached to characters, or you get so invested in a situation that you just, you know, you want something to happen, and whether it does or not, it's going to elicit a response from you that is more than just, oh yeah, I read that. So I mean, those are some of my biggest ones, I think.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot him. Stephen King, the Dark Tower series. Holy crap. He hasn't read them yet.
No. I read the first couple pages of the first one. It was pretty good. He's talking to a guy who's farming.
Mm-hmm. It's actually a lot cooler than that.
I don't know. That was pretty exciting for me.
King appreciates you.
Hey, Stephen King, if you ever want to be on the THOMCAST, you just let these guys know, okay?
Let me know.
We'll hook
I'm
you
a
up.
bigger fan. Yeah. What'd you say, old chap?
Pip, pip, cheerio.
All right, well,
What?